Coming up on high school game night, a soggy one out there, but some teams refusing to let the rain slow them down.
Only 5 games being played in the entire LL League tonight. We've got 4 of them covered, including an always fun Section 1 tilt between the McCaskey Red Tornado and the Warwick Warriors. It's all coming up next. High school game night starts now. Let's go.
One, two, three, two. Mark makes the catch.
Wow, look at that.
Cody Kafer towing the sideline.
Hello and welcome to high school game night. I'm Chad Landers.
And I'm Brian Cass. Little bit of a wet night out there, Chad, causing some scheduling issues. We will have all the details on postponements later in the show, but there were some teams out there bold enough to play in the elements, Chad.
Yes, there were. We mentioned at the top of the game 5 teams playing from the LL, 5 games, 10 teams that is. And we'll kick things off with the Warwick Warriors.
Yeah, the boys from Lidditz hosting the McCaskey Red Tornado. Chad, you know I have a soft spot in my heart for my alma mater, but it has been a very rough 6 weeks.
Yeah, traditionally this is a pretty close game, but the Tornado, they've been a little abysmal this season. Don't want to hurt your feelings there. And they have 0 wins so far in the season. Warwick trying to make sure it stays that way on the home turf of Grosh Field tonight. In a scoreless game, it's the Warriors. Tommy Garner from the Wildcat can't find any room up the middle. They'll make a couple of Tornado defenders miss, and Warwick leads it 7-0 in the first.
And then the rain picks up. Punt attempt by McCaskey, but whoops, ball's loose. Warriors recover, and they are in business. It's Garner again. They love him in that Wildcat formation. Goes over the top. Refs say he broke the plane. It is 14-zip Warwick.
And then it's one of the great stories of the year. Jake Shillity, shall we say, a late addition to the Warwick team this season, and he bulls his way in for 6 more.
All Warwick in this game. McCaskey still with all sorts of problems. Tornado lose again, 27-7 as Warwick moves to 3-4 on the year.
Over to Section 3 now, where Garden Spot is trying to hang on for dear life. A year ago, they went undefeated and blitzed the section on their way to the district playoffs, but this year is a different story. They've struggled with turnovers, and the Spartans already have 2 losses in their section. Rainy night in New Holland as the Spartans would step into the ring for a Friday night prize fight with Pius X. The visitors come out swinging in the first quarter, throwing a haymaker early against the Spartans. Royals field the punt here, and they will break it to the outside edge. Eric Marbury will weave his way through the Garden Spot special teams and eventually breaks it down the sideline for the 65-yard touchdown off the punt return. Pius X goes up 7-0. Impressive, right? Garden Spot would take their time recovering from that staggering blow. But late in the second quarter, 4th and 10 here for Mitch Martin, and he delivers. A strike over the middle to Daryl Hartman. That's a first down, and the Spartans are driving. 3rd and goal now from the 1, and Garden Spot goes Wildcat. Chase Bowman knocks the Royals down to the mat with the touchdown run, pulling the Spartans even in this non-league fight. And then just before the half, Spot looking for the TKO. Martin over the middle to Savon Caldwell, but nope, can't haul it in, and Pius X scoops it up out of the air. They dodge the killer blow and halt any momentum going into halftime. Referees have this one scored 7 apiece at the break. But in the second half, the Spartans channel their inner Rocky Balboa and land thunderous blow after thunderous blow against the Royals, and Martin leads his team to a comeback victory as Garden Spot knocks out Pius X 20-13.
Wow, Chad, that was very well done. Yeah. Nice job. We are just getting started, though. 2 more games to go, including more Section 1 action. Both Lancaster Catholic and Wilson unbeaten in section play. Find out what happened in their clash tonight.
Don't go anywhere. High school game night. We'll be right back.
High school game night is brought to you by Jamie's Pazzo Pizza in Ephrata.
All right, welcome back. Let us kick off our second batch of games in Section 1. Two teams in Lancaster Catholic and Wilson that haven't lost a section game yet, Chad.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Catholic rebounded well from that rough 0-3 start in last year's game between these two teams. Pretty close. Wilson won it 14-7 after a couple of huge plays on defense and special teams. So what would the Bulldogs have in store tonight for the Crusaders in West Lawn? Scoreless in the first until Wilson QB Matt Timochenko zips one over the middle to Bryce Pike on the slant. We'll call it a 9-yard TD hookup, and Bulldogs go up 7-0.
Then it is a heavy dose of the Bulldogs' ground game. John Rafe Snyder pounds it in with just 9 seconds left in the first quarter. Bulldogs lead by 14.
Yeah, but Catholic not going away quietly. Evan Purvis has been doing work back there at QB. Last 3 weeks, he finds Harrison Heiss wide open, steals 6 points from the Bulldogs, and the game would be a close one late, but Wilson, as they always seem to do, hang on to win 24-17. And get this, Brian, that is their 40th straight Section 1 victory. Just impressive. Wow.
All right, but more from Section 1 now. Penn Manor traveling to Manor Township. Both teams coming off of wins last week, and they're both solid squads, so all signs pointing to a pretty good game in Neffsville tonight. Rain was heavy at times for this one, but Penn Manor sprinting out of the gates. It's Lavonta Jones with a nice spin move, just plows his way through to the second level. He's finally brought down at about the 12-yard line, and then it'll be Penn Manor's workhorse. Charlie Bell gets a direct snap here and zooms left side for the score. 7-0 Comets. In the second quarter, more from guess who? It is Bell with a traditional handoff this time, just knifing his way through with a blue streak D, 36 yards to make it 14-0. Township's offense would fight back. Look at QB Eric Benjamin sling one over the middle for John Stutz, the sophomore sensation. That's a huge gainer, would set up a Township TD to pull the streaks within 7, but Penn Manor pulls away in the second half. Comets win 35-21.
Hey, Brian, they're legit this year.
They
Our
are.
highlights might not be through. Don't go anywhere. We've got the lone score from the final game that was played in the LL League tonight, plus all the postponement news that you demand, and we'll also get to our plays of the week selections the fans can vote on. All that coming up right after the break. Stick around.
High school game night is brought to you by Jamie's Pazzo Pizza in Ephrata.
And welcome back to the post-game show. Time to go around the LL and get the final score of the night.
Finally.
Yeah, right. And run down all of the games that were postponed due to the weather. Section 1 contest tonight. Hempfield hosting the Falcons of Cedar Crest. The Black Knights have no problem in this one. They win it big, 47-7.
40-point victory. In Section 2, a complete washout tonight. That includes our game of the week, Lebanon at Cocalico. We will not be airing that one live, so the Cedars and Eagles will suit back up again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Manor Central looking for their 500th win in program history against Lampeter Strasburg. Serious flooding canceling tonight's game. So those two teams who are undefeated in section play will wait until Monday to take the field in Manheim at 5 p.m.
Should be a good one there. Elsewhere in Section 2, Solanco and Conestoga Valley's contest tonight pushed back due to the rain. Kickoff is now set for Monday at CV starting at 7 p.m. Same situation for Ephrata. They have a road game against Elizabethtown on the schedule. It will now be played Monday, also at 7 p.m.
On to Section 3. Donegal leading the way at 3-0, hosting Peckaway Valley, who were mired in a 3-game losing streak. Too wet to play this one tonight, so the teams will hit the field on Monday at 5 on Northern Lebanon, right behind those Indians of Donegal, taking on Elko. This game also pushed back to Monday. Teams will kick off at 6 p.m.
Finally, Brian, one of your favorite squads, Columbia.
They're my guys.
Yeah, the Crimson Tide supposed to go to Annville tonight, but never got on the bus.
Unfortunately.
No, Annville, Cleona, and Columbia will now play Monday at 6 p.m.
So, those were the scores, but how about our potential plays of the week? First up, Warwick's Tommy Garner uses those hops, goes over the pile-up to break the plane. Call that one a touchdown.
All right, second, it's Lancaster Catholic QB Evan Purvis, installed as the starter just 3 weeks ago, finds Harrison Heiss wide open for the score against Wilson, but Wilson ends up winning that game.
Yes, they did. And finally, from that mud bowl in the garden spot on 4th and 10, Mitch Martin finds Darryl Hartman for the clutch conversion as garden spot gets back to winning. They take down Pius to 10, 20-13.
All right, so those were just 3 contenders. We're going to wait a little bit for the rest of our local teams to play their games, and we will have all the plays up for vote Monday night before midnight. So to vote for your favorite, just go to our blog, news11sports.com, and we'll announce the winners next Friday.
Only fair that we wait for those other awesome plays. Don't forget, we've got more live high school football on BRC 11 next Friday night. In high def, it'll be the Manor Central Barons hitting the road, trying to stay unbeaten against the Ephrata Mounts, who are still searching for their first win of the year. Our live coverage begins from War Memorial Stadium at 7 p.m.
All right, Brian, that wraps up our partial coverage of Week 7. Any final thoughts for the games today?
That Mud Bowl and Garden Spot, I know they had to get that game in. They had to play it. Some great video there, and good for them. One on homecoming.
It was homecoming, and it was rainy, but then the rain stopped. So I think that actually worked in the Spartans' favor. Yep. We'll have more highlights on Monday of the rest of the games, so tune in for that. But for all of our crew here on High School Game Night, I'm Chad Lang.
I'm Brian Cass. We'll see you next week.